Originally, this song was supposed to be called Conversations with Louie. And essentially, it was a concept record in which, as the song goes on, you become more drunk, right? So I'm having a conversation with a bottle of liquor, and it starts off very philosophical, as if like you're just, having a good time with your friend. And as you drink more, you get drunk, and when you get drunk, emotions come out. What up? My name's Steph, and this is Ghxst. I got a lot of pressure from the people that surround me, and now I question people that surround me. So like the first two are pretty straightforward. Like there are people that are around me that want me to do certain things, whether it's friends or family, or even people outside of my direct circle. They're like, you should do this, you should do that, but that makes you question yourself. Do I want to do what's best for me, or do I want to do what's best for them, or do they think what's best for me is what's actually best for them? So it kind of makes you like question those that are around you. Dudes I call my brothers no longer feel like family. Was it me or was it them that started crossing all these boundaries? And the next two are essentially playing off of the first two, and it's just almost asking myself like, what went wrong in the friendship? At what point was the friendship transactional? I've been pondering the question, should I ghost or be mature? Come to a solution, overthink it now and share. It's trying to figure out how should I approach the conversation with these people that are giving me pressure. Do I just say, ignore them, I don't want to deal with this, or do I, be like, let's actually have this conversation like adults? And the type of person that I am, I'm very upfront, very straightforward, but sometimes it feels like there's a battle that's not worth fighting. So should I ghost or be mature? And that's what I tried to figure out. And as you hear at the end of the song, fuck it, I'm ghost. I've just said like I'm not gonna deal with this. It's not worth my time, my energy, and those that do love me and that want the best from you, I don't need to question them. Find myself indulging in the thoughts of reckless violence, and I think about the greatest pains of killing my with kindness. Let's be mature and kill them with kindness. How else is it to piss somebody off if you're incredibly nice to them? If you're doing everything that you can, that doesn't really bother yourself, but to like please them, or to kind of like not give them a reason to be like, oh, they did this or oh, they did that, to piss them off. So kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness. Everybody goofy and involved in different business. Lost within another life, forget that life they're living. The media is always trying to get involved in somebody else's life, and the people around you are always trying to get involved in somebody else's life, or their friend's life, or their parents' life. It's just like, yo, chill, worry about yourself, because you're not perfect, we're not perfect, and we all have our own demons that we gotta face. And everybody that's like, in my opinion, is like, if you're really worried about what I'm doing, like, you gotta figure yourself out. Every move is calculated. If you catch a tripper, not predicted, you'd be slipping, turn the homie to a victim. You don't want to test the loyalty of your friends, because it's kind of like a fucked up thing to do, to kind of put them to the test. And obviously if somebody responds or acts in a certain way that's really like, yo, why would you do that? That's kind of like, I know that you're no longer a homie. And everybody bitching, never working, always giving. And everybody beefing, but ironically you're chicken. Everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants to work. Everybody wants to complain. They all want handouts. Like, yo, like, it just like, nothing is ever like given. We gotta work for stuff, man. Like, regardless, like, even if you came up like, well off or whatever it is, like, you still gotta work. It does not mean that just because you have something doesn't mean you can keep it. It can be gone just like that. And everybody gas you up, but they are never driven. You'd never catch a dollar bill fishing. Go chase a bag. Everybody like wants to boost you, and everybody wants to kind of put all their energy into you, but they kind of forget about themselves. And what's somebody with no motivation? So there's that. And then you can't go fishing for a dollar bill. Like, it's not a cartoon, you can't do that. But it's also like in the sense of saying like you can't sit on your ass and wait for a fish to come. You have to go chase the bag. You have to go and get your money. You have to go do something. Don't get me wrong, fishing is, you kind of sit there and you wait for it. That's the sport of what it is, But also, that's not the point of getting money. Go do it. They said it wouldn't happen. When I do it, then I did it. Then suddenly it switches when their riches turn fruition. I guess that goes into the saying, like, the first they doubt you, then they praise you. Like, they don't think it's going to happen. They, like, kind of push you to the side. And once you're finally doing it, and, kind of catching a buzz or numbers or whatever the case may be, they're like, oh snap, like, I want to be part of this now. Never been a struggle to decipher all my visions. Caught up in that knowledge, fuck that wind. I feel like everyone nowadays is so involved in like, oh, I have to win. But like in reality, like, you can lose and you can get a great lesson from that loss. I'm not telling you that you need to lose or you should fail, but I'm not really worried about my wins and losses. Like, my record's cool. I'm more worried about what I'm going to take with that success or take with that failure and that information and kind of channel it to something more appealing or positive, or even, something that's going to actually benefit me. And Lord knows I've been sinning, and Shorty knows I'm smoking, I've been sipping. Nothing that I'm doing is fulfilling. Used to dream of millions, but I'm trying to make a killing. But the only thing I'm killing is myself, cause ambition. The Vikings are very ambitious. They'd die and go to Valhalla, right? And that's basically me saying, like, I am so ambitious, I'm gonna end up hurting myself. I'm gonna end up, either physically harming myself by doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, or working too hard, or I'm going to harm those around me, or something's just going to blow up in my face. So that's kind of me just saying, like, I am too ambitious for my own good, and I need to work on that. And everybody around me has been questioning decisions. I ain't worried about your fucking competitions. Comparing me to so-and-so when we on different missions. Don't you ever disrespect me. Me and them are not the same. Yeah, that goes back into the first line. Everybody has something to say, and I'm not really worried about it. I feel like a lot of people, we all have our own game, we all have our own goals, and I read this in a book called The Psychology of Money. Everybody has their own financial game, and I kind of channel this towards myself. Everyone has their own life game, right? Like, what's good for you is going to be different for me. What's worked for you is going to be different for me, and that's me saying, like, we're not on the same page. Like, I don't care what you want, this is what I want. Caught up in the struggle when we playing different games, claiming that you're different, you're the same with different names. From the tapper, from the foster dog, you still go down the drain. Everybody has the same name. It's Lil this, Lil that, and don't get me wrong, love Lil Wayne, love Lil Baby, love the Lils, Lil Durk, but, like, everybody sounds the same. Everyone has the same name. Like, you're still trash. Not the good guys. We can have this conversation on the end. Like, not the guys that I do respect and, love the hustle. But, like, whether from the tap or from the faucet dog, it still goes down the drain. The tap and the faucet are two same exact thing, just a different name. And it still goes down the drain, because it's waste. Don't question if I'm able. I just prove to you I'm Cain. Cain and Abel will also play on words. Like, don't question if I'm able to do something. I'll show you that I can. But also the story of Cain and Abel. I got a lot of pain, got some bodies in my closet. I don't even listen to my conscience. Been having trouble trusting, I don't even trust myself. So how can I expect them to be honest? You got a lot of thoughts going on in your head. I think we can all agree that being in your mind is a very scary place. And I think from that, I was just kind of saying, like, how can I expect those around me to be honest with me if I'm not even honest with myself? I just keep lying to myself or keep telling myself that I should or shouldn't do something. So I just need to breathe. Always on my phone, I'm supplying what they need. Now my girlfriend is impatient, think I'm pushing her to leave. But honestly, she's right, said I need to think of me. I've been living out my dream, one nightmare at a time. Oh, that's actually a true story. My girlfriend kept yelling at me to get off my phone. And I was, I actually had to sit down and kind of reflect. Why am I always on my phone? I think we all kind of get the serotonin boost every time we open up Instagram or Twitter or whatever the case may be. But I felt like I was getting so involved in my phone and trying to help people with, like, whatever they needed help with, that I kind of forgot about myself. And I feel like as I continue to work and, chase my dreams, it feels like there are really sometimes dark days, the nightmares or the difficult days. So I'm living out my dream one nightmare at a time. It's going to be difficult to get there, but they say the journey is everything. So we're here for the journey. Some days I want to cry and tell everyone I'm fine. Said that a lot too many times, I convince myself I'm fine. No time to have emotions when you're always on the grind. Shit, I think that I'm convinced. Yeah, so, like, I think we all convince ourselves of things. We tell ourselves, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, and nothing is fine. The world's on fire, or kind of the thing where we have to tell ourselves that things are okay in order to keep moving. And that's just me telling myself, like, if you cry, if you take time to, you can't have emotions. You have to keep working. And I think, like, we're going to get a little social-esque here. Like, it's okay to cry. Like, as men, like, they say we're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to show emotions. Like, cry. Let it out. You feel amazing afterwards, Like, be you. Like, don't worry about what other people have to say. And honestly, I'm pissed. Y'all know nothing of the risk. I put my soul into these records and they telling me to quit. So what I'm supposed to do when they putting me through shit? I'm prime time with the pressure and the Ravens with the blitz. It tells you to stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you love. Whether it's, you're starting off or you're doing something great with it, everybody wants you to stop because for whatever reason. You know, we can get into that later. It's a different conversation. However, I put a lot of my true energy. You know, I put my soul into this music. You know, this is who I am. This is what gets me going and keeps me alive and everything. So how do you respond to that? So then I'm a big football fan. I used to play football. So like a defensive back, prime time, Deion Sanders with the pressure. Big time, you know, how do you respond to pressure? So I'm prime time with the pressure and the Ravens with the blitz. You know, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, they would blitz them like no other. The Ravens defense, you know, growing up, like that's what it was. So that's me saying like, throw it at me. Like I'm not gonna fold. I'm not folding under pressure. I'm gonna keep coming, keep going. I've been working too hard for somebody to come and take it. They claimed I wouldn't make it. Never had to fake it. Always truthful in my statements. If they say they're gonna take it, y'all be gambling your life, and I put that shit on mine. I work my ass off. You know, like if you want to come take it from me, come take it from me. But good luck. Like that's like my mentality that I have to have when I'm working, in order to keep pushing. And they always say like I put it on my life. I put it on my life. It's like there is no life that's like yours. So if you're gonna like come try to take my own, you're gambling yourself. Like, I'm not saying, like, that's not a threat. That's not, like, I'm hard-bodied. That's just me saying, like, I'm putting this shit on my life, and if you're going to come take it from me, we're going to have a problem. So, y'all be gambling your life, and I put that shit on mine. KL said, my eyes, I'm destructive in my nature. I know I'm out of line. I overtook my pacer. I'm just trying to get it up before I get to meet my maker. Said, I'm trying to get it up before I get to meet my maker. I'm a pretty violent person, believe it or not. I had to calm down. But like that just kind of also is saying like the intensity of the individual that I am is just like we're gonna work, we're gonna blow anything up in our way to get where we have to go. Nothing's gonna stop us or myself, you know, I know I'm out of line. I overtook my pace. Just saying like I'm not waiting for anyone. I'm gonna do it. I'm not stopping. I'm not gonna go at somebody else's pace. My pace is my pace, and that's what it is. And then I'm just trying to get it up before I die, man. I'm just trying to go crazy. Fuck it, I'm Ghxst.
Hey.
Scene!
Hey.
I just answered, the end of I answered the question that I had in there, should I Ghxst to be mature? Even though, like, I kind of, like, spoke through it in the mature way throughout the record, I also just, like, fuck it, I'm Ghxst. Like, I just kind of wanted to end it there, and I felt like if I kept going, it'd be overkill, and I felt like if I, made it a little shorter, it'd be missing some pieces. I felt like this would be really good to encapsulate the way I've been feeling for a little bit, and, I think it sets up for great records going forward. So the concept behind it was I'm having a conversation with this bottle of liquor and I'm just pouring out my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings. But I figured it would better be called Ghxst because I asked myself the question, should I Ghxst or be mature? And at the end of the song I come to a conclusion. Instead of leaving it open-ended for the song, I can always do like Ghxst Part 2 later, talk about something else. But it would be weird if I did like conversations with Lou and then conversations with Jack Daniels or Jack or, it wouldn't, to me, it wouldn't kind of match that. So I felt like Ghxst would be dope, Ghxst Part 2, Part 3,